meeting order. Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty, call the roll.
Ms. Clodfelter? Here. Ms. Nyworth?
Here.
Ms. Fabregat? Here. Ms. McBride? Mr. Rice? Colonel Baird?
Okay, any special guests?
Yeah, we got goal area 2 here tonight. That is the goal area that Ms. Lynn oversees.
Hello, how are you guys?
We're good.
Good. Okay, so yes, I'm going to present on Goal Area 2 and what we've done from the beginning of the year. We've had some people shift positions and move out of the district, so we've updated our committees. We have some from the communities. Ms. Sybil is a part of our Goal Area 2, and these are some of the updates that we've done. So the highlighted portions you'll see for our student support programs. We are using Thought Exchange more often now. That's our anonymous reporting. We also have info@lawtonps.org where people can email us their questions, concerns, thoughts. We have the How Are We Doing, which is a comment card on our website. That is anonymous as well. So if anybody wants to let us know how things are going, but they don't want us to know who they are, they can go on our website and it's under the comment card. In front of you, you have our latest issue of the LPS Review. And that is something that our community has really enjoyed. It is a monthly publication where we highlight the success of our students and our staff to show what's going on in the district. And our community is buying in because now they're asking ways that they can get flyers out there to provide more resources for our students. So that's been really helpful. We are a character.org district, and we have several schools putting in for their promising practices. The application is not due until March 2026, but in 2024, we had 4 sites that were named promising practices. So now we have more elementaries applying, our middle schools and high schools with their promising practices. For number 5, we've had some updates. We are bringing in more representatives from the community. Some of them are doing collaborations with our students. Mr. Brown and his team from Ed Services, workforce development is really taking off, and this week we're going to have Academy Quest, and that's going to be provided for our 8th graders from each of the 3 middle schools, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So they'll get to see what the academies and pathways are for when they get into 9th grade and high school. So that's been something that we've really worked hard on. Our internships are really doing well. We have more community members asking for students or saying how can they help, and just connecting them through that pathway has been really helpful for our students. 21st Century and Gear Up are big in our districts. There's 2 that we're working on getting, Eisenhower High School and Eisenhower Middle School. We have to make sure the application goes through, so that's already something that started, and we'll know more by the end of the year, hopefully, for getting their after-school program taken care of. But the 2 schools, MacArthur and Lawton High, are really taking advantage, and you'll see some of those highlights in the review about what our kids are doing and how they are taking advantage of these opportunities. So then we go to parent communication and volunteering. Rooms is really taking off. We've had more parents get on Rooms and actually ask the teachers, hey, how do you want to do this? How can I get into Rooms? And that's taken off. So this is our 3rd year in Rooms, and I think it's worked very well with House Bill 3958. We don't want that communication between the staff member and the student alone. So using systems like Rooms with ThrillShare has been great for our families. Our flex periods, we're building in positive reinforcement, that we're using that for ACT prep. We're also talking and building those relationships with our staff members, so our students have somebody that they can go to that's not just specifically their teacher, but a trusted adult in the building. And so Flex Period is really focused on creating that positive atmosphere with our secondary students. Then we have ongoing collaboration. We've had a lot of discussion about volunteers and what that looks like. So we have our volunteer form online. They do have to do a background check. We want to make sure that we're keeping our students safe. And so if they want to volunteer, we have a process of doing that through the schools. And then that's ongoing and site-based of how that is. Continuing with our security and our vetting process, we have the kiosk in the front, so when they check in, I mean, that is important for us. That lets our staff know who's coming into the building. If there's any issues, our officers and our administration gets an alert. Sometimes they're false because people have the same names, so we take it down to their birth date and check, and our law enforcement's really good about going to the school and checking once they get that. So that's been really helpful for us. And then Project Aware, of course, we know that we're in our last year, but they've been really helpful in getting counseling out for our students and doing the EIS screeners if somebody is in need of support. And then our last objective in goal area 2 has to do with community stakeholders and community connections. Again, we utilize our info at Lawton PS. We do our podcast. Mr. Heim is great about sharing that information. And then the STAT committee, which works with our Ed Services team, they give us feedback. That's our Superintendent's Teacher Advisory Council. And then just today, we had our Student Advisory Council with Mr. Heim, and we get a lot of great feedback and insight from our students, and we want them to know that their voice matters. And they've actually, every year that Mr. Heim has done his council, they've had positive changes that impacted their school and even students throughout the district, from the free tickets for their home game to seasonings at their lunch, the food seasoning. So that's happened. And then this year they're working on another one. Their big focus is food pantry. And so they're going to work together as a collaboration between the 3 high schools to put out a PSA soon. So be on the lookout for that. And then the last thing we'll talk about is just the civic organizations and conferences that our students, we had the lunch today with the state superintendent, and our schools were represented there and our students were involved. So just continuing to open up that pathway where our students are a part of the community and the community is a part of our district. It's just been really positive and fun, and we get a lot of great feedback from them. So if there's no pending questions, yes, ma'am.
I don't have a question, I have a comment. I helped with the food bank a couple of weekends ago, and they said, oh my gosh, Lawton Public Schools kids are amazing. The 3 high schools and middle schools too, I think, are doing all the, they said they're keeping us stocked. So I just wanted you to know that. Good.
They are about Lawton. They say it all the time, don't they, Mr.
Yes,
Heim?
the
We
kids
are
are really
Lawton.
good. It's amazing when you're in there
Oh.
in that advisory. And the advisory this year we have 9th graders through seniors.
Yes.
In the past, they brought we had a lot more seniors, and we really appreciate, we've really worked on getting some of the younger students there. So
Well, and evidently our clubs are they're all collecting food and taking it to the food bank.
Yeah, I know the key clubs and student council, they've gone and worked like
Yeah.
volunteer hours at the food bank, helping out.
That's awesome.
And they're even working on their food pantries at the school because they know some of their peers do not want to go out there, so they're trying to make it easy
It is
from
kind
the
of
clothes
out of the
closet and
way.
the food pantry.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I wanted you to know that they love this.
couple comments. She talked about thought exchange. The school board and the new state superintendent are working together, and they should have sent an email out to parents to do a thought exchange survey about what they wanted out of the
New
State Department of
superintendent.
Education and things they can do. So our parents should have got that. And it's the same thought exchange we use. Obviously, it's just coming from them. She talked about security. If you notice, one thing we're doing because of popular demand, or lots of demand, is we knew when we secured everything, we're going to have some glitches and some discussions. And one thing we've looked at is how do we secure Shoemaker without breaking the security to the other? So what we're going to do now is we're going to come in and we're going to make it the only way in and out of Shoemaker is on Fort Sill.
Oh, okay, that's awesome.
So you're going to have to
That's a
come.
long time
So when
to
you
use
come in
it.
here, you'll have
Except
to.
after hours, yeah.
Yeah, after hours, the gates will open like they do. But the main thing will be, so the only thing that'll do. Yeah,
Yes.
The only downside to that'll be is, and we'll just have to decide, and one of the reasons we did it the way we did it to begin with is if Lawton High's playing a softball game,
Yeah, they've got a park.
they either got to come in here or walk, and we'll work that out. And plus, if we just have an officer or something there, we could go ahead and
Yeah,
open
open
that
the
gate and make it accessible. But
How are your tech guys gonna get in and out? They're gonna have to go out to Fort
But
Sill?
what if we need to come up here during the day?
you could just come through. off of
Everything
Fort
will be
Sill.
Fort
So
Sill
you're gonna leave
Boulevard.
it open during the
The
day?
Fort
it won't
Sill,
take place.
that
Oh,
gate will
okay,
be
I
open. That
understand.
gate will be
They're
open.
adding the new gate right now, right?
Yeah, we're gonna put a
Yeah.
gate here where you,
Yeah.
so when you get in here, you won't be able to get out. The only way out will be go back, and that
Well, that's
gate will
what
be
we-
open all
yeah.
the time instead of
Okay.
closed.
So that's
And
what
we'll
that
put
makes
it-
More sense to
its
me.
own contained.
Yes.
We
Shoemaker
will put
be
we
its
will
own
put a
contained
map
building.
out though too,
Yeah.
because that'll
Right.
change the Central Middle School where they
don't
try
want
to
you
go
at
through
their
that
park.
parking lot, that'll be closed with
All us
access
long-term
control.
people that's been here our whole lives, well, it'll take a little bit.
We'll put a map out, I promise. We'll share a map.
And the problem is that you don't think about in 2025 is if you've never been here and you put it in Google Maps, it sends you to
Correct.
Fort Sill.
Right.
So people can't figure out people that's never been here can't not figure out how to get in here. And we knew that was a problem, and we've talked about the different solutions, and we've lit up the pathway, but we're getting more and more students from the Central Middle School also going to, walking over to Lawton High, and obviously they gotta walk back. So keeping that flow of traffic coming from this parking lot out of this parking lot will help as well. And like you said, the tech guys will either be in this parking lot, or some of them will just have to start outside the parking lot. We'll probably try to get more of them in and
Well,
leave
you'll
it
have
from.
baseball too, but, I mean, we've always used this parking lot for baseball because you don't have no place to park.
But when we have games, our officers will be here.
That's
and
right.
we
They
can
can
So
work
they
open
can
on
the
open,
gate.
that's what I'm saying, so they'll have to.
There's not
They'll work
really-
it out, they'll figure it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, she did talk about our student advisory. One thing that was kind of interesting was the students talked a lot about, you can tell now, we even talked about it the first time we did a student advisory. I would say I was nice today to those people. I would say 10% of them realized we had free college. They all knew that now. There were still some questions about that we asked, but they also all talked about they wish they would have had more on this pathways. They were even recommending, they're excited about what we're doing for the 8th graders. They were talking about, well, yeah, but what about 6th graders? And, you know, when they're in the 6th grade, it's really the parents, and maybe we need to have something, some more parent nights for the 6th grade parents, because 6th graders don't know what we're talking.
I
I mean,
agree
you
with
got
the
one
more
that's pretty
parent
good.
nights, because I had two 6th graders this year, and neither set of parents understood what was going on.
So-
So I agree we should do more
Parent
of that.
nights, more
Yeah.
parent
Agree with
nights.
that.
Yeah.
But
Some
like,
more
get
parent-
into the sixth, not at the beginning when there's too much going on.
Not
in middle
sixth grade
school.
even, but like in
Yeah.
middle school.
Like give it
a
week or
yeah,
two.
you know.
Well,
But even now,
I think
your
it's-
6th graders still need to know,
Yeah.
and this is what they were talking about. They see the flexibility that they can get if they get we talk about it some, and it doesn't always get to the buildings as much as it should, but we talk about how take a Spanish class, or take a computer class, or take something for high school credit while you're in middle school, and that's one less you're required to take, and it gives you more flexibility when you get in high school to take concurrent and.
Yeah, I think.
Well, I think
working
you're just talking
vacation
about
to
that,
the
Lynn.
parents.
I mean,
Also, the summer
that just
classes
brought up,
that
you know,
they
I had
do
Yeah.
one at MacArthur and one at
after
Central.
eighth
Well,
and
the one from
ninth
MacArthur,
grade
of course,
to
had
try
been
to
out of
Yeah, like
state.
they take Oklahoma
And so
history
they had just
online,
come back
yeah.
in that this
Yeah,
year,
I
but
definitely
the other one,
support
the whole
vacation
time, in both sets were like, I don't understand this, I don't understand this, I don't understand this. So maybe we
So
look at-
duly noted, I will
Right.
work on more parent nights with Mr. Brown and Ed Services,
You
and
know,
we'll
just to-
communicate
Well,
that.
And maybe even just some more information about.
Yeah.
It is on our,
how things are
and
going.
that's right, we have talked about parent, because, you know, Parent
Yeah.
University, that's been brought up a couple times in other community
Yes.
meetings we've had.
Well, you know, that's what and we did do something different with how we were letting them do their credits or whatever that messed up. I don't know what that was.
The
about,
course
but-
catalogs.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
And
Start
that-
now?
But, and which worked out
No,
great,
for the
but
day.
anyway. But they just were all panicking, and I'm like, I don't know, call the school. And they're like, but who do we call? And I'm like, call Kevin, here's his cell phone number.
Start that in June.
No,
Yeah.
They're June.
Okay.
But, and that's something, we did talk about as well when we got out of that meeting, because the different things, the kids and the different perceptions, you still get into the telephone game where Doug and I, we'll talk about it in our office, because the three of us meet every morning at 7:30.
Right.
Just to make sure, because they're basically the three people who work for me besides Skylar that are directly under me.
Right.
And we meet every morning just to make sure we're all on the same page, but still, if it goes through 2 or 3 people and then it's
Yeah,
three,
it's
we
different.
got 12 high school counselors. We need to get those 12 high school counselors in a room more often, so they're, and try to get their verbiage the same and using the same vocabulary. And so that's some other things we're talking about. And even
really
your,
think the verbiage is
and
very
even your
important.
9 or 10 middle school counselors, make sure they understand that it is different
Right.
in what we're expecting. So it's, I mean, when you talking to the kids, you get a different perspective of what they're hearing from people, and it was well worth our time today.
Oh, and let me tell you, the 6th grade students themselves didn't have a problem at all.
There you go.
They were fine.
Well, good to know, everything, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Lynn. All right, super.
All right, if you'll look on there, what we're asking to approve is a virtual instruction plan. You have to approve that for 27 school year, which would be next school year, in order to use a virtual day. And there's a lot of debate on whether you can, 2's all you get. So that'd be 2 snow days, 2, and really the biggest thing for this district, in my opinion, because we have plenty of time built in, what you don't want, You want, if the water line breaks at Freedom,
Yeah.
they can go virtual for a day while they fix that, and it doesn't, they don't get on a different path of hours and minutes of everybody else. Or, you know, we have that sometimes, a water will break, or for whatever reason, you have to close the school for a day or whatever. And so that's where we'd really want to have that virtual plan for.
Any questions? Need a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Call the roll.
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Ms. Fabrega?
Yes.
Ms. McBride?
Yes.
And then, the next thing on there is just a calendar. We always put this out. We did, I mean, since we only do it once a year, but we put it out early, a draft, so everybody can see it. And we also hope, we send it to our teachers and our staff. We really don't get a lot of responses, but sometimes when we'll put it on the agenda, we'll get more responses because it's, oh, they're gonna approve that, we better look at it. And then we'll take all feedback we get between now and the December meeting and just approve the calendar in December.
Now, today, our state superintendent mentioned 3 more weeks of school.
Well-
Where would we put those for sure?
Well, basically what he's talking about is he's adding 15 days to the calendar that,
Right.
right now, the state law requires 166, and we go 173.
That's okay.
But there's a lot of schools going minimum, so, but for every day they add, he knows the legislatures have basically agreed for every day they add, they're gonna have to add 25 million. So my guess is, last year they added 1, my guess is they'll add 1 or 2 this year and get us back. My guess is there'll be a push to get us back to 180.
Yeah, 180 or
Where
183.
we were at, 180 is where we were at 50. If you coincide, when we were at 180 15 years ago, our region scores were a lot better. We had better ACT scores, and we've let those numbers, as that days have dropped, our test scores has dropped. It may be a coincidence or it may be a correlation. That's, I haven't done the research.
But they're looking at our testing too, thank goodness.
Yes, thank goodness on that. And then the last thing on 5 is just your updates and on to the consent agenda.
Okay, anything be removed from the consent agenda? Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Call the roll.
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Ms. Fabrega?
Yes.
Ms. McBride?
Yes.
We do not need an executive
So we
session.
can go to 11A.
And superintendent's personnel report.
Motion to approve the personnel report.
Second.
Call the roll.
Ms. Claude-Felter?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Ms. Fabrega?
Yes.
Ms. McBride?
Yes.
Any new business?
No, ma'am.
Okay, our next regular board meeting is December the 8th. We do have a special meeting tomorrow. Anything else?
At 2:30, right?
2:30 tomorrow here.
Nothing else for me.
All righty, we are adjourned.